Hello. Happy Friday, y'all. I am so excited to be here. I think I start every one of these calls with that excitement. It is just such an honor and a pleasure to come on here and share some of my research I've been doing, share CX tips in hopes that you take something back with you. Today's live, I'm going to base it off something that I was actually pretty shocked about. There's some research that has come out, and actually dealership guy, oh my goodness. Clearly I need more coffee. Dealership guy actually published an article on this. And when I saw it, I couldn't believe the massive opportunity that there is to capitalize on and can be capitalized on by improving a specific customer journey point. So I thought today I would share some of this information with you and hope that I can help open up, broaden a horizon around A, just how important this is, how much revenue is being lost, and B, how customer experience can help you change that. And so here we go. Across many studies, the same truth keeps sort of punching through here. A shocking portion of your guests are calling for help, and it is landing in a black abyss. Most data sets put missed service calls somewhere between the low 20s and nearly 30%. Even top performers are still losing 15 to 30% of their inbound calls, which means that the store with the sharpest process and the cleanest KPIs is still seeing their guests disappear before anyone even says hello. Y'all, this is $1 million leak hiding in your service drive. And yes, I'm going to go through the numbers with you. Here's the part that we might not like to say out loud, but we're not just missing the call, we're also missing that second chance with the customer. Car Wars data shows only 9.29% of missed calls ever get a same-day callback. Almost 9 out of 10 get nothing within a week. Imagine a guest raising their hand, "Hey, I'm here," asking for help, and the response being silence. And I know it's not because you don't care, but there is a crack in the system. And we've normalized that crack. We look at it, we see the missed calls, we are busy, and we haven't focused on it. So I'm hoping today, by giving you this information, it's something that you go back and look at, because we are 2 weeks out-ish from 2026, and this could be the opportunity to add pure revenue to your top line by focusing on just one touch point in the guest journey, and that is that inbound calls through your BDC or your service drive, and how we can establish a great set of non-negotiable standards that allows your team to pick up the calls, return the calls, and once they are on the call with the customer, capitalize on getting those appointments booked. All right, so when you sort of model out all the dollars and you really look at it, that leak becomes a flood. Now, Numa's analysis of more than 600 service departments shows a typical rooftop missing 158 to 216 appointment calls per month. And at an average RO of $450, that's $850,000 to $1.17 million a year evaporating because no one picked up the phone or called back. Marchex lands in the same zip code. Okay, so missing 20 calls a day at a $500 ticket pencils out to $615,000 in annual business. One rooftop, 1 year, one bad habit, a whole loss of money. Could you imagine if you're a group with 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 plus rooftops, how much money is being lost? And yet financial loss is really only half the story. Here's the human side to all of this. The part we kind of forget inside the dashboards and the Excel spreadsheets and the daily operations. Customers still want to talk to a real person. So I know you have 1, 2, maybe 3 AI solutions as backup to help you not miss those calls. But about 60% of shoppers call after searching online, and the same number, they prefer calling over clicking when they're on their phone. By the time they dial, they've already done the research and they're ready. They're always anxious. I can't wait till that perception changes of our industry. But they do need that guidance, clarity, and reassurance. And when you don't answer, they usually don't try again. So roughly 85% of unanswered inquiries never actually reach back out to that business. Long holds, bad routing, and busy windows push hang-up rates up to another 40%. And when those calls drop, it's not just a lost appointment, it's the beginning of a lost relationship, the long-term loyal guest. Data shows that 74% of buyers who service with the dealership will purchase their next vehicle there. Only 35% will purchase with you if they don't service their dealership with you. That's a huge gap and a huge opportunity. The service drive, fixed operations, is the loyalty lifeline of the dealership. And that's where we need to work to keep your guests happy. Fixed ops is almost half the gross profit, but you know this. I don't need to tell you this, yet 20 to 30% of calls that feed that engine are actually dying on the vine. That's what I want you to hear, is that there's incredible opportunity. I don't look at this as a bad thing. I look at this as the answers to the test. You've heard me say this before when it comes to your 4-star and below reviews. When you look at those, we can look at them one way. We can look at them and be really upset about the job we're not doing, the poor job we are doing. Or we could look at them and say, oh, well, I have the answers to the test. I know exactly what my customers don't like about me, and I can make that shift. It's a mindset shift. So I don't come here saying, oh, you got a leak and you're not doing too good. I'm coming to you and saying, y'all, you have a leak, and wow, what an opportunity 2026 is going to bring. But here is another startling piece of research. So even inside the calls that you do answer, there's another leak, and it's called the conversion gap. At least that's what I'm coining it. Call reviews research shows that answered calls are still being mishandled at a really high rate. And what does that mean? There's no appointment ask. There are rush tones, poor listening, and your guests that are calling, they finally got through to you, and now they feel even more frustrated. Average appointment set rate sits around 25%, while top performers regularly hit 33 to 40% with higher ROs because, well, you can charge more when you make your guests happy. So ultimately, there are 2 opportunities in your dealership to make a boatload of money in 2026. And it's going to take one leadership decision to take a look at what those opportunities are from a dollars and cents perspective, and the focus you will bring to it in how you treat your guests while on the phone with them, as well as how quickly you call them back. Whew, it's a lot of information. All right, so here's the thing. I believe you have this incredible opportunity sitting in your hands. And so there's a couple of things that need to happen. And this is just my humble opinion. One, we need to take a look at the report card. We need to take a look and see actually how much money is being lost. As I've illustrated, it could be upwards of $1.17 million per dealership. I would think that type of loss is worth some focus. Number two, you want to take a look at your process. What is your team doing with missed calls? Yes, I know there's AI. I know you have solutions and redundancies in place, but even with those in place, humans are not getting the calls back. So let's look at that process. Your BDC, the people working the phones. How many extra calls in a day do you need to make? So let's say you're on the lower end and you're missing 158 calls a month. You divide that by 25-ish working days, and that is an extra 6 calls a day. So what process do we have in place to ensure that we are making those extra 6 missed calls a day within either the 24-hour period or by end of business day? So that's the first opportunity first step is, what is your opportunity? What kind of money are we going to make in 2026? Second is looking at the process and seeing if there is a break in the process and really understanding where it is and how many missed calls are happening on a daily basis, because the reality is it seems really big and massive and scary from a monthly perspective. When you break it down by day, you're looking between 6 and 8 calls, additional calls we need to make in a day, or you need to make in a day. Third is, what are your non-negotiable standards? Have you looked strategically and with intention at your guest journey and the journey points specifically with inbound phone calls? Do you know your potential failures? What can go wrong? And I've talked about that here: missed calls, being rude, not calling customers back, leaving messages, not picking up, whatever the potential failures are. We can go down a laundry list of them. Second is, what are your transactional standards? What does that look like? What do you have to do to get that touch point to come to life? Those are your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, your operations. Picking up the phone, returning in calls within 24 hours, and really taking all your potential failures and baking it into that process so that there isn't a break in the process. And then third, how do we go from transaction to interaction? How do we cross that bridge from black and white transactional to a feel-good moment that your guests want to be a part of? Because that second opportunity is that even when we do get a guest on the phone, even when you do get a guest on the phone, they don't like the way they're being treated. So a potential failure is that you do get the guest on the phone, but you're not asking for the appointment. You're not getting the correct information. You're not leaning in and being curious. You're not smiling on the phone. Let me tell you, RBF is a thing even on the phone. I have a Toyota dealership that has, in the service drive, that has little mirrors that they put right beside their phone and their computer to remind them to smile, because you can hear the smile on the phone. So what are those feel-good moments? Are you using their name 2 or 3 times through the conversation? Are you doing proper confirmation? Are you collecting golden nuggets? And then that leads us to a +1. How you anticipate their needs and deliver a +1. Did you pick up a golden nugget and recall back by the end of the phone call? Did you pick up a golden nugget, a birthday, anniversary, a milestone, something that's happening in their life, and send a card that matches, or send a text to congratulate them? By developing these non-negotiable standards, you will take that second opportunity and capitalize on gaining the appointment and making your guests happy so they stay loyal. You know, being in customer service or customer experience in that realm, it's really hard to justify the spend on training. It's hard to justify developing these non-negotiable standards. It's even hard to justify just the time to have a daily huddle and give the customer a voice in your business, because I get it, you have millions of tasks that need to be done, little tasks throughout the dealership, throughout every single department and every single employee. But when you look at this one touch point, the opportunity, it's exciting and it's massive to make more money directly correlated and tied to the guest experience. So going into 2026, I wanted to share this with you as an opportunity that you can look at within your dealership, within your dealer group, as one of the most exciting things I've seen in a long time. I'm not here to tell you you're doing it wrong, although you're not picking up the phone, but I'm not here to say that. What I'm here to say is that there is such an incredible opportunity to focus on the guest experience. So I hope in 2026, you pick up the inbound phone call as one of the touch points you work on in the first 90 days of 2026. Now, I know there's a lot more that needs to be done in the background. This is very high level, and I know that it's not as easy as it sounds as I say it, but nothing good comes easy. Everything good is a little bit hard to achieve, but the process is truly simple. And the first step on that process, I'm going to back it up even one more. It's not just seeing where your opportunity is, it's deciding and choosing to have an elevated experience within your dealership. And when you choose that and you really see that direct line from customer experience to your top line, it allows you to get excited, to get your team on board, and do the work that needs to be done to be the best, to deliver 5-star. I'm so sorry. One second. Your customers, they don't want the sun, the moon, and the stars. They actually want to book an appointment with you. They're raising their hand. Y'all, this is what happens in lives. I can't cut this out. I'm so sorry. I have a tickle in my throat. I got so passionate about this, I cried. I have shed a few tears. No, but for real, your customers want to do business with you. They're calling you. They are raising their hand. And all it takes is to show up and smile and execute. I'll give you this tip as a feel-good, non-negotiable standard. You want to execute the 5 E's. I've been talking a lot about it these days. You know, I'm out traveling. It's the holidays. Everyone's busy. Everyone has tasks to do. If you're like me, you still have Christmas presents to buy. I have 1 out of my 3 children bought 4. And everyone is a little bit agitated. And executing the 5 E's will really change your energy and the energy of the person in front of you or the person on the phone. And that's eye contact, ear-to-ear smile. And that ear-to-ear smile, you can hear it on the phone, being enthusiastic. And I was just so enthusiastic that I shed a few tears and had a dry throat, that you are going to engage genuinely with that person and you are going to educate them on what they need to know in order to get them to the finish line and book their appointments with you. But in everyone you interact with over the next few weeks, Try executing those 5 E's. And especially as you roll into 2026, if you choose to take this opportunity on and focus on that one touch point, looking at what you're, well, making the decision, looking at what your opportunity is, put the dollars and cents in front of you so you can see what you're chasing. Develop that process, or look at the process you already have and articulate and find out just where in that process there's a break, and then develop your non-negotiable standards and make small little tweaks so that the people that you do call back aren't hearing rudeness, they're not hearing frustration, the ask for the appointment is there, and they feel genuinely cared for. When you do that one touch point, if you focus on nothing else for the year in any part of the guest experience, you're going to see a rise in your revenue that is just sitting there in unanswered calls. So there's my 2026 tip for you. And also drawing a direct line from what you do every single day and an area of your business that will produce more revenue through the better experience that you provide your customers. I am wishing you the best holidays. I am going to be taking the next couple weeks off, but we will start back up in January with some new incredible tips and tricks for you to elevate your guest experience. Happy holidays. Be safe. Hug your loved ones and enjoy. I can't wait to see you in 2026.